Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. My name's Bo. Let's talk about the Philippines. First time traveler to the Philippines. Before you even get on that plane going to the Philippines, I definitely recommend a couple things. Firstly, let's start with what apps you should have on your phone. The first app I recommend you start with is Western Union. Now, why do I recommend the Western Union app? Is because I think cash is king in the Philippines. Cash gives you so much opportunity to negotiate, and whether it's buying clothes, hotel rooms, food, you know, the whole part of the Philippines, the Filipino people love cash. It's cash is king over there. Get that cash, and you don't have to have lots of it. Now, the great thing with Western Union, and this is not a sales pitch, this is just because I use Western Union. And why do I use Western Union? Because Western Union is everywhere in the Philippines, from the city to the remote islands to the small provinces and the small little villages. There's a Western Union somewhere there, and it's always super close to wherever you're staying. So, Western Union, download the app. Then, if you decide to transfer yourself some money from your account, so you put your account details into the app, you decide that you want to send yourself some money, some pesos, then you type in how much, and you can go from a dollar through to $10,000. It's up to you. The sky's the limit how much you want to send yourself. Basically, I like to send myself about 100 Australian dollars at a time. I'm from Australia, so I'm going to talk about Australian dollars, but the principle is the same no matter where you are in the world. You just got to change the currency exchange. I'll be talking about AUD, but you might talk about American dollars, or it depends on whether you're from Spain or Germany or France or England or wherever you're from. So that's the only difference in this vlog, that you need the currency exchange rate. So the good thing also with Western Union is very, very, very competitive with its exchange rate. It usually sits around between 35 to 38 pesos per Australian dollar. Some American dollar, I know it's more pesos, so that's per Australian dollar, 35 to 38 pesos per Australian dollar. If I was to physically in Australia go into a currency exchange rate place and ask for pesos, unless it's a very, very upmarket one, you're going to get ripped off. They're going to hit you up 32 to 34 pesos when you could use Western Union and get 36 to 38. And the good thing about that is you don't have to carry a big amount of money to the airport with you or around in general. So whenever you need some cash, just send it from your account to your Western Union using your app on your phone. Once you hit send, it'll be instantaneous, and then an MTCN number will come up. You take that MTCN to a Western Union branch, which is nearly every third street, and you show them and the MTCN number with your ID, and whether it's driver's license or passport, and they'll hand you cash. My partner and I actually sent out each other a large amount of money because there was something we wanted to buy over there. We sent ourselves 250,000 pesos. We walked in, showed the MTCN number to the lady behind the counter, and she actually gave us then and there on the spot, didn't have to order it in, 250,000 pesos. And we went off and bought what we wanted to buy. So first one I definitely recommend is to have Western Union. The first app you're going to use for transport over there when you get off that plane, I recommend GrabCar. Why do I recommend GrabCar over taxis? And taxis can fluctuate in price. They can take you the long way so the meter goes up, or then they can turn around and say there's so much traffic, I want extra money. But with GrabCar, now GrabCar is exactly the same as Uber. Uber was in the Philippines, but it sort of fell to bits and disappeared, and now they use GrabCar, which is exactly the same principle, works the same way. Type in the destination you're going, make sure your location's right, hit go, and when you hit go, then it will show you the picture of the car, what kind of car, what color the car is, picture of the driver, and his registration plate. Same thing as Uber. You're standing there on the side of the road, you're looking out for that picture of that car, that the license plate. When you see it, wave it down, pull it down, and off you go. And the best thing about GrabCar is it's a set price. So the driver's not going to take you all around the countryside to get you there, because he wants to get you from A to B and drop you off to get his next set price. So you won't get hustled. And look, when you're traveling around the back streets of Manila and all that sort of stuff, you can use tricycles. 99% of the time it's going to be totally fine. I use tricycles a lot, but I have a Filipino wife, so she knows what's going on, and she can pull them up and speak to them in Tagalog if there's any issues. But if you want to pay that tiny bit extra, I mean, there's a bit extra, but not dramatically extra. It's definitely cheaper than the taxis and hiring a van and all that sort of stuff. go with GrabCar. So you got your Western Union app installed before you go there. You got your GrabCar app installed before you go there, and you want to also have Booking.com and Airbnb. Why those two in particular? Booking.com, it's here nor there. You can use Booking.com, Travelgo, all the different hotel sites. That's fine. I like Booking.com because it's pretty safe. But I definitely reckon Airbnb. And why do I recommend Airbnb is because I don't always want to stay in a hotel. I want to be able to cook my own food and all that sort of stuff, and still have the same luxuries as a hotel, like a swimming pool, gym, all that sort of stuff. Airbnb, you can find that, and you know, you've got the facilities to cook and stuff like that, and you still got your Wi-Fi, and you still got security on the front door, so it's all safe. So you can either go with hotels, Booking.com, or Airbnb. So you've got your Western Union, you've got your GrabCar, you've got your Booking.com, and you've got your Airbnb on there as well. And you've got to have travel insurance. Before you even get on that plane, you've got to have travel insurance. Why is travel insurance so important in traveling? Well, I don't have to explain the obvious, but Philippines in particular, hospitals are really expensive. And quite often you want to stay at a private hospital as well for that extra care. It's crazy expensive over there. But if you want to see a general GP, it can be anywhere from about 400 pesos to about 900 pesos. So you're looking at about 12 to 30 Australian dollars. So 400 and 900 pesos, depending on whether the GP is a bit friendly in his pricing or not. And that's fine. So I had a ear infection while I was there, went and saw the GP. It was 700 pesos to see him, and then another 500 pesos for the ointment in my ear to get rid of the ear infection one time while I was traveling. I could have claimed it back on travel insurance, but it was like $40 in total, whatever. So that's not too bad seeing a GP, and medication is not too bad. It's when you have to get to hospitals. So you've got to have travel insurance just for that scenario. So travel insurance, Airbnb, Booking.com, GrabCar, and Western Union. They're the apps before you even arrive. Get international roaming on your phone. Speak to your service provider, whether you're postpaid, prepaid. So, for example, I'm with Boost. You could be with anyone, Telstra, Optus, whatever. That's if you're in Australia. In other countries, will be different service provider names. But let's talk about Boost, was the one I'm with. So I buy the international roaming voucher, and I store it into my phone. It gives me 14 days of international roaming that I can use anywhere in the world. It gives me 60 minutes of phone calls, 60 texts, and about 3 gig of data. And I don't use any of that while I'm out around the place. If I want to send a family a message and all that sort of stuff, talk to them Skype or Facebook Messenger, and Skype and Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp I'll generally do back at the hotel, but quick messages and calling grab cars or checking stuff, I will use the internet in public. But as soon as I get back to hotel, I'll turn the data roaming off and use the hotel or the condo's Wi-Fi. So definitely international roaming, and it just makes it so much easier because if you buy a Filipino SIM card, it's complicated for your family to call you. And the best thing with international roaming is your family can call you as well, and you can talk to them. And I just find it much better. So they're the things you've got to have before you leave. Your international roaming is sorted out, your Western Union, your GrabCar, your Booking.com, and your Airbnb. Now, when you get to Manila, grab yourself a GrabCar straight in front of the airport. Don't bother with the taxis. I explained why. And head to Makati, first-time traveller. Why Makati? Is Makati super safe? No, it's I guess super safe in life, but it's a very safe area. It's really the heart of Manila, Makati, and just from Makati all around that area, there's so many places to go that are within a shortish driving distance, that you can use a grab car or whatever to go to. Now, Makati, when you get to Makati, go to Makati Palace, and it's actually gone past in the walk behind on this YouTube channel, which is not my YouTube channel, but props to the fella once again who's done it, and I'm sure it did come up and say who he was. Makati Palace is central, and it's basically a big T intersection road, and everything just around Makati Palace. You have clubs and nightclubs, restaurants, cafes. You even got working girls, night girls and all that sort of stuff, strip joints and all that sort of stuff. But it's just central to everything, and it's also central to shopping centres and museums and big food courts and big food markets and the big clothing markets where you go to get all your fake brand names and your Gucci and your Louis Vuitton and your Adidas and your Nike and Reebok and all that sort of stuff, and your Von Dutch or whatever you're into. So I recommend Makati Palace in Manila, and that's where Booking.com is. You can check out Makati Palace on Booking.com. You've sent yourself some money, but through Western Union, you walk into Makati Palace and go, okay, this is what I did. They were going to charge me 4,000 pesos a night for a particular room. It was a little bit high end, and I said, well, look, I can actually get that, which is about 120 Australian dollars. I said I can actually get that for 70 Australian dollars on Booking.com. How about I offer you 60 Australian dollars cash, so you don't have to do the fees right now? And they said yes. So I went from having to pay about 4,000 pesos to between 2,000 to 2,500 pesos a night. So it was a massive saving over 7 days. So definitely that's where your Booking.com and your Airbnb and your cash through Western Union comes in handy. So once you're at the Makati Palace, straight across the road from Makati Palace is a great little bar called the Filling Station. Got a really good happy hour, basically $2.50 cocktails, $2 beers, and happy hour goes for about, it's not actually an hour, it goes for I think 4 to 7 p.m. or 5 to 7 p.m. and it's two for the price of one, so every beer you get two. And don't forget to drink Red Horse beer when you're over there. Or San Miguel, have a try of that Red Horse beer, it's a great beer. So you're now at Makati Palace. I've explained to you how to get there, what apps to do, and all that sort of stuff. You've got all those bars. You're having fun. You're doing whatever you're doing. And from Makati, I recommend if you're going to go shopping, the places that I recommend that if you're going to go shopping from Makati Palace is I'll go from the most expensive to the cheapest of the main shopping areas that locals go to. Firstly is Green Hills. Green Hills is huge. It's quite a few floors. It's full of fake brand stuff as well as not fake brand stuff. And you can get yourself everything from a fake Rolex there to, once again, your Louis Vuitton, your Gucci, your Guess, your Adidas, your Nike, whatever you're into. And there's a lot of A-plus fakes in that particular shopping area. And it's more just the thing with Green Hills rather than a shopping mall's actually shops. Whereas Green Hill's just all these hundreds and hundreds of small stores selling their wares, and you go and you negotiate. You're a foreigner, so they're going to charge you way more than you should be paying. Well, not way more, but easily about 100 to 200 pesos, sometimes 300 or 400, depends how easy a mark you are. I would always start by offering anywhere from 200 pesos, less than what they want for it. If it's 1,000 pesos, I'd offer 700 pesos. If it's 400 pesos, I'd offer 200 pesos. Let's talk about price of clothes, for example. You should be paying depends on the quality of the fakes you're after, between 150 to 400 pesos. It depends on what size. I'm a plus size over there, so I pay a little bit extra because not many big people over there, so unfortunately. But if you're fairly skinny or whatever, you're better find what you want a little bit cheaper. But shirts, brand name shirts, Nike, Adidas and all that, anywhere between 150 to 100 even to about 400 pesos. Tracksuit pants or pants and all that sort of about a similar thing. If you're going to go for yourself a Gucci wallet or whatever, a Louis Vuitton wallet, you're looking between 300 to 600 pesos. Depends on how good a negotiator you are. A Rolex about 80 Australian dollars, about between 2 to 1,500 to 3,000 pesos. You can buy a guitar over there for about 100 Australian dollars, between 2,500 to 3,500 pesos. So that's sort of around the prices you're going to be paying for stuff. Food as well, it depends. If you're going just your Carandela, which is street food, don't be shy to eat street food. Street food's great. You pay between 20 pesos to 100 pesos per little item, and that's nothing. That's like between 80 cents to $2.50. And if you're going into restaurants, you're going to pay anywhere between 100 to 500 pesos. 500 pesos usually is a buffet, and they're usually between 4 to 500 pesos, all you can eat buffets, and they're great. Kabalayan, I recommend, traditional Philippine food buffet. It's fantastic. So anyway, that's Green Hills. That's a great little shopping area. But the problem with Green Hills is someone clicked onto the idea to bring in tourist groups through to do shopping. So they've had a lot of interaction with Westerners, and they kind of charge a bit more. The next down the list, less expensive, and it's a great little shopping area, is Divisoria. Now, Divisoria is quite cheap. Fantastic. It's huge. Do heaps of negotiation. Don't negotiate rudely, and I don't mean by offering a rude price, because that's fine. I mean, smile, talk, laugh. The more friendly you are, just like anywhere, the more they're willing to look after you in the price and help you out a little bit. If you're just a bit of a prick, then they're not going to they're not going to negotiate much. You know, we're all humans. We like to be talked to with respect. We respect someone, you get respected. You disrespect someone, you get disrespected. That's life. So Devasori is a great little shop in there. Top floor is fantastic food court, massive food court full of a lot of traditional food, Filipino food where you can go and it's all displayed and you can pick which a bit of this, bit of that, and load it up, and it's a certain amount for one dish, two dish, three different sides, and off you go. Now, that's Devasori. I recommend Devasori over Green Hills, definitely. It's a great shopping mall. Over Green Hills, definitely recommend it. The best, though, and I always forget the name, and in the comments tomorrow, I'll put it when my wife wakes up tomorrow morning, I'll ask her what the name was, and she'll laugh at me and go, you can't believe you forgot. It's either Tai Tai or Tagatai. I always forget. Don't be shy to say it in the comments and correct me. That's fine. Either Tai Tai or Tagatai. They are that is the best shopping area. That's huge mall full of little stalls, and a lot of the locals go there. Local Filipinos go there to buy their products to take them back to their shops to sell for normal prices. So that's how good the price is there. And once again, don't be shy to negotiate. And as I mentioned, roughly the prices. Some of the shops in there, there's some shops called 60 pesos, where you go in there and everything in the place is 60 pesos. You know, it's not that high grade quality stuff, but it's comfortable shirts. If you're not after a brand name, you'll find a nice 60 pesos shirt to fit you, or for gifts when you get back home. 60 pesos, $2. You know, less than $2, $1.80. So they're the three main shopping areas, from the most expensive, which is still cheaper than everywhere else, is Green Hills, Devasoria, and I can't remember whether it's Tagatai or Taito, one of those. And that's where most expensive is the least. Go to the bottom one I mentioned. That's fantastic. I'm just going to check my phone. I don't lose track of where we're up to. When you're traveling to the Philippines, you've got two options: Philippine Airlines or Air Niugini. There is others. Philippine Airlines can surprise you, and you can have a booking, and a couple of days before you're about to fly it, they cancel it and change it to a week later. They did it to me and messed with everything, but I had travel insurance, which compensated all the loss of income and all that sort of stuff that came from that. Then you've got Air Niugini, which are quite reliable. I found them very reliable. It's just not a flash airline, but it is comfortable and all that sort of stuff. But you'll usually have to stop over in New Guinea for up to 5 hours, and that sucks a bit because it's not really a really flash airport as such. But the people are nice. They've got bar there, they've got food there. Unless it's the early morning stopover, because you might be stuck there with 5 hours with nothing happening and nothing but a hard seat to sit on, and that's quite a bit boring. And that's where the international roaming comes in, so you can at least play on your phone. And if you run out of data, you just have to buy it again, another $40, for example, with Boost, and off you go again. So look, that's about everything I wanted to talk about in the basics of it all. I am going to talk more. This is part one. I just wanted to talk about for your first time traveller, what you should do to set yourself off. Now, once you're at Makati, then we're going to talk about internal travel within the Philippines, like going to places like Boracay, Coron, Palawan, El Nido, Cebu Island, places like Bohol or Chocolate Hills or stuff like that. That's going to be part two. So check this one out and then go to part two and see the rest. But just to reiterate, I do recommend that you definitely have travel insurance, you definitely have Western Union, you definitely have Airbnb, you definitely have Booking.com, you definitely have GrabCar, and you have your international roaming before you hop on that plane. And book at Makati Palace. Once again, on a sales pitch, just a great central spot that'll get you on your feet, and then you can go from there. And go to the malls, because mall life in the Philippines is a culture. It's not like in Australia, or there's every age group. It's quite amazing. The great thing with Filipino people is it's acceptable to go and talk to a Filipino, chat to them. If you're interested in the guy or the girl, you can talk to them a bit. If they show a bit of interest, ask them out. When it's in Australia, it's not really acceptable so much to ask someone else. It's a bit awkward, a bit funny. Over there, it's still a bit awkward, but they're not going to yell at you or get mad at you or abuse you over it. They're just going to smile and go, no thanks, if they're not interested. So it's good in that way, as you can chat to people and make friends and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, once again, my name's Bo. Thank you for watching my vid. Be well, be safe, be loved.